Hey guys, Sinful here. Today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to feature two creepypasta stories. I feel like you guys will enjoy these. I know most of these creepypasta stories are obviously not true, and I know you guys love the true scary stories, but give these a chance, guys. Make sure to let me know what you think of them, and if you want me to feature more creepypastas in the future. So, let's do this. Number 1. This actually happened to me a few years back at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. My sophomore year, I roomed with a girl named Kara. She was a jazz vocalist, but her main interest was opera. We had a small room on the 6th floor of a dormitory called Juniper Hall. The walls were thin, and her late-night singing and voice practices would keep me up late. After a month or so of lost sleep, I convinced her to move back her late-night practices to the music studios in the Miriam Theater building, a short block away. Around 8 o'clock one evening, Kara announced that she would be practicing late for an upcoming recital and probably wouldn't be home until around midnight. Great, I thought. That means I can go to bed early. I was beat. I had a horrible day in acting studio and was ready to pass out as soon as I had dinner. She said goodnight and left, coffee and sheet music in hand. I made some grilled cheese and soup, gobbled it down, and immediately began to prepare for bed. By the time I got out of the shower, my eyelids were so heavy, I could hardly brush my teeth. I pulled on my PJs and crawled into the top bunk of our bunk bed. I was out as soon as my head hit the pillow. I should take a second to describe the layout of our apartment. When entering the apartment, the bedroom was through a door immediately to the left. Our bathroom was inside the bedroom, just past the bunk beds. University Arts is nice in the sense that you don't have to share bathrooms. Anyway, I woke up to the sound of the apartment door closing. I opened my eyes and groggily checked my phone. Midnight on the dot. I rolled back over and closed my eyes. I heard Kara enter the room and stop in front of the bunk bed. Checking to see if I'm actually asleep, I thought. She flopped down on the bed below me, which was strange, as she was a stickler for brushing her teeth and washing up before bed. Then again, exams were just around the corner, and we were all exhausted. The mattress below me creaked and then was silent. I couldn't even hear her breathing. I started to drift off again. I was just on the edge of deep sleep when I was startled awake by a noise, a key in the lock, the door opening, and Kara entering our apartment, humming an opera tune. The mattress below me creaked. Number 2. People I tell seem to not believe me, but I swear this is true. A little background before I get into it. I'm a 29-year-old construction worker. Been doing it since high school. Metal framing and sheetrock mostly. I'm in decent shape. No history of mental disorders in my family. Only problem I've developed over the years is a mild case of tinnitus from being stubborn and refusing to wear ear protection. It comes during times of silence, like when I'm trying to sleep. So I try to keep the TV or a fan on to cancel out the ringing. Work was getting very slow where I lived, so I decided to move to Virginia. I was staying with a friend who got me a sweet gig with a local construction company on the Norfolk Naval Base. Huge job. 5-story building. Complete build-out from the ground up. Good pay. Not exactly close to where we were staying, but the drive wasn't bad as long as I made it in before morning traffic. Only thing wrong with the job was the foreman was a complete asshole. Always talking down to us workers, in that sort of passive-aggressive tone, that made me want to punch him in his face. But as long as we stayed busy, he didn't bother with us for long. It was a huge job, and he had a lot of people to bug. About 4 months into the job, I injured my right hand, sliced my middle finger on a piece of metal. It didn't hurt at all. The doctor stitching me up said it was because I cut so deep, it severed the nerves. The next day I had to file an injury report and everything. My boss said he was going to put me on light duty, and that he didn't have to do anything except sweep until my hand healed. I was all for it. Some pay for easy work. For the first week, things were all right. But then it started getting boring. I mean, really boring. The days dragged on, and I wonder why they didn't just pay me to stay home. So naturally, I started wandering the job to kill time, checking out all the hallways, and there were plenty of hallways. Really long and gloomy looking when there were just gray brick all around. Some at the very top didn't even have temporary lighting, and they would have been pitch black if it weren't for the huge window cutouts on each end letting in sunlight. I stayed away from those hallways. They creeped me out. One day, I was feeling so bored, I decided to go walking around the 4th floor. Most of the work had been finished, and there weren't any other trades doing work there at the time, so I had it all to myself. It was around that time that I noticed my tinnitus was acting up worse than usual. I figured someone must have had a generator running or something, so I started moving towards the other end of the hallway. About 3/4 of the way, my ears start painfully ringing. I tried sticking my finger in my ears and humming, which usually does the trick, but the ringing was so intense. I started feeling nauseous, and I fell over on my hands and knees. I was slapping my ears, trying to make the ringing stop. My eyes started to water at one point, because I was slapping my head so hard. I got up on my knees, still covering my ears, trying to get to my feet so I could make it to the stairwell. But the ringing was so intense, every move I made sent my head spinning. Moving slow helped, but not much. As I turned around, I noticed someone standing at the other end of the hallway, near one of the window cutouts. The sun behind him was so bright, all I could see was a silhouette. I started yelling, "Help! Help!" as loud as I could, but the guy didn't move. I thought maybe he had earplugs in and couldn't hear me, so I started moving towards him, slowly so my head wouldn't spin. As I got closer, I started noticing things I hadn't before. First, this guy was huge, like impossibly huge. His head was small in proportion to his body, and near the top of the window, his shoulders were really wide and high, almost like he was shrugging. His arms were long, hanging down past his waist, with really long fingers on each hand. I still couldn't make out any facial features because of the bright sun behind him. But as I started realizing this person wasn't normal, I slowly backed away. He just stood there, looking right at me. I was almost to the stairs when this thing slowly cocks its head to the side, like a dog does when it's confused. And the ringing in my ears just goes crazy. It was extremely painful. At the time, I thought my ears were bleeding. I was pressing my hands into my ears and yelling, but it was so loud. I couldn't even hear myself yell. I dropped back on my hands and knees and threw up on the floor until I was puking air. I looked up to see if this thing was coming after me, but I caught a last glimpse of it as it walked into a nearby room. The instant it disappeared around the corner, the ringing in my ears just stopped. Like someone hit the mute button. Needless to say, I ran the fuck out of there and didn't look back. I stayed away from the 4th floor for the next couple months. I told a few people what I saw, but they only pretended to be interested. It was about 5 months after it happened when I decided to go back up there. I checked every room, if there were any signs of this thing, and they were long gone. I went to the window where it was standing and took a measurement. The top of the window was 10 foot 9 inches. I still have tinnitus. There have been a few times when I'm laying in bed at night, and the ringing gets painful, and I freak out and check every room in my apartment. But it never gets as bad as it was that day. I really hope it never does. Thanks for listening, Sinful Society. This is the Sinful Savant. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, share this video, and subscribe to join the Sinful Society if you haven't yet. I want to thank all of you guys for your constructive criticism, all of your love, your support, the comments that you share. It makes this all worthwhile, guys. And it helps me make the channel as best as I can, because all of your suggestions and help is what really makes it all go. So keep emailing me the stories, guys, to my email, and I will keep featuring your stories in upcoming videos. And make sure to stay sinful, guys.